So, after a break that's been a little bit longer than I would have liked, the backlog is back, and we've spruced things up a little bit. But I don't want to dwell on that too long because the focus of the show, as always, is going to be about the games. And I've got a doozy for you today. Now, Tetris is probably the most well-known video game in the world, and you probably think that you've seen all the formula has to offer. But there are plenty of ways to spice it up and bring a whole new flavor to it. That's why today I want to talk about Tetris Battle Gaiden for the Super Famicom.
Tetris Battle Gaiden was developed and published by Bulletproof Software for the Super Famicom on December 24, 1993. Despite the worldwide popularity of Tetris and Bulletproof's previous games like Hatris, Yoshi's Cookie, and both the NES and Game Boy versions of Tetris being released worldwide, Tetris Battle Gaiden was a Japan-only affair, and that's a shame, because the game is an absolute blast. If you've played Tetris, and I know you have because you're a living human being, you'll know how it works. Rotate the familiar shaped pieces to complete lines, clear them out, and manage your mess to keep the blocks from piling up to the top of the screen. If the battle in the game's title didn't already give it away, Tetris Battle Gaiden puts a competitive spin on the whole thing and adds a ton of depth via a colorful cast of characters, each with their own unique powers that can either aid them in clearing blocks, or make it harder for their opponent to do the same. Occasionally, one of the pieces will have a glowing yellow orb replacing one of the small squares that composes it. If you clear a line that has one of those yellow orbs, it gets added to your bank. The amount you have stashed away will determine which one of your powers gets used, with the vast majority of them able to swing the momentum of the match pretty quickly. The game's characters are all super cute and colorful cartoon characters. You've got Halloween, Midorun, Shaman, Aladdin, Princess, Bit, Ninja, and Wolfman, and secret characters Dragon and Grand Princess, and they each come with their own stage background and music. It adds a ton of personality and charm to the game, and you'll definitely find a character whose vibe and power sets resonate with you. Some are more powerful than others, with Shaman and Ninja typically being a lot tougher to deal with, but this is just a fun, goofy game, so who cares about balance? What makes Tetris Battle Gaiden so much fun to play with others is that you can't just play it the way you would vanilla Tetris. Everything you've been learning your whole life has to go out the window. You can't just keep building up your board and waiting for the long skinny pieces to score points. This does dump some blocks on your opponent, but your utmost priority needs to be clearing out the yellow orbs. If you're not clearing them out while your opponent is increasing their stock, they're going to be able to use their powers to mess you up pretty easily. Compounding this is the fact that you both share incoming blocks. There's only one next block list, and it's a first come, first served basis. If the next block on the docket has an orb, you may find yourself wanting to drop your block quickly to ensure you can grab the next one and work on increasing your orb stash. It's all a very delicate tightrope block, but it creates the same kind of raucous, shouting and laughing multiplayer sessions that really make good two-player games memorable experiences. There is a one-player mode, but it's kind of boring. It's not as much fun setting off a power at just the right time and messing up a soulless computer player as it is doing the same to your buddy and watching the smoke start coming out of his ears. This really is a game that you're going to want to have at least one other person for, if not more. It's the kind of game that anyone can pick up and learn quickly, so you don't need to worry about some kind of huge barrier of entry as far as skill goes. It is an import game, and the menus and text are all in Japanese, but you shouldn't have too much of a problem getting around the game. Knowing katakana helps so you can read the power names, but it's not a deal breaker because there are plenty of guides online that explain the powers and what they do. It's a little bit weird playing Tetris and not hearing the familiar Russian tunes from the NES version, but Tetris Battle Gaiden has a killer soundtrack. Each character's tune fits their personality perfectly and keep the game feeling lighthearted and fun. It's definitely a soundtrack you'll be looking to add to your iPod to listen to even when you're not playing.
Now, like every game I talk about, Tetris Battle Gaiden isn't going to cost you very much money, with a loose cart running you about $10, with a complete in-box copy going anywhere from $20 to $30. And for the amount of fun that you're going to get out of this game when you have friends over, it's an absolute steal.
Tetris Battle Gaiden takes the classic Tetris formula and dresses it up with so many fun competitive mechanics and wonderful production values, I really can't understand why it never made it out of Japan. It's so much fun, and it's so well made and so addictive that it can easily join Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and Mario Party in your multiplayer rotation. Do what you can to secure a copy, because if you like playing games with friends, you absolutely should not be without this game.